Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And I hate to say I told you so. Oh, who am I kidding? I love to say I told you so. And you heard it here first, folks. I have, of course, for quite some time saying about tactical voting. I've been saying that regardless of whether you're a Conservative, a Labour or a Lib Dem, look to see in your constituency, if you're in an SNP constituency, who the most likely person is to remove that SNP, MP or MSP, whoever, from their seat. And let's say it's Labour, for example, and you're a Tory voter. Well, if you can get the SNP out and it's going to put a Labour man in, then vote Labour, even if you're a Tory. Simply because the Labour aren't your enemy. They're only the opposition. For all parties, the SNP are the enemy. They're the enemy of each of the other parties, but they're also the enemy of the people. And so if you're a Labour and it looks like it could be a Tory seat, vote Tory. Hold your nose, one election, and vote that way. And I've been saying that for quite some time. And it seems that other people are now starting to pick up on what I have been clamouring for a good sort of 5-6 months now. And so we'll look at this story because the destruction that a little bit of tactical voting could do to the SNP is absolutely massive. It could utterly destroy them as a party. We'll take a look. Here goes. Now, of course, there's nothing formal in place between the Lib Dems, the Labour and the Conservatives, not at a party level. But at a voter level, you can make such a big difference. If you're in a place where, as I say, let's say you're a Tory and you know that even if you vote Tory, your man's not going to get in, right? Your candidate, you'll vote for him, you'll give him a good showing, etc. But you know that your candidate isn't going to get in. Then don't waste your vote. Don't waste your vote voting for someone who can't win. Use your vote tactically and vote to get someone out. If you're in an SNP seat. If you're not in an SNP seat, then obviously they're not going to get in anyway. So you can vote how you are. But if you're in an SNP seat, look to see who's the second strongest. Look who's likely to oust them and vote accordingly and get them out. Now, if we do this, look at this headline. The SNP could lose 40 seats at a general election if the Unionists embrace tactical voting. And the Unionists have to. And the reason is, and as they say it here in the very first line, the Nats will benefit from a lack of separatist options, whilst the Scottish Conservatives, Scottish Labour and Scottish Lib Dems will face a fight on more than one front. You see, anyone who's going to vote for a nationalist party really only has the SNP. Yes, I know there's Alaba, but they're nothing. They are nothing. They exist purely to give Alex Salmond an income. There's no political power there. And there'll be no MPs for them come the next general election. Whereas the Unionist vote is split between the three main Unionist parties. And so you have this sort of quandary of splitting the Unionist vote so that you can have the majority of people voting for Unionist parties, but the SNP still being the biggest single power base because of the way the voting system works. And that is why you have to use your head, folks. Look to see who's second. Don't vote for your party if your party can't win. Don't vote for anyone. Vote against the SNP. And yes, bite the bullet. Have a Labour MP if you're a Tory. Have a Tory MP if you're Labour. Have a Lib Dem, whatever. But provided that you're not sending a yellow rosette to Parliament, everybody's going to be better off. Everyone's going to win. And then you can repeat the same exercise in 2.5 years when we get to the Scottish elections. And you can send a real and proper message that you're not prepared to put up with this bunch of degenerate freeloaders any longer. Anyway, Unionist voters in Scotland have been told they have the power to boot out dozens of SNP MPs at the next general election if they embrace tactical voting. The Nats are falling in with the polls in Labour tipped to take a number of seats off them when the UK votes next year. Now, of course, this is because, and I've said it time and time again, it's almost my mantra. We are many, they are few. We band together, we can defeat them. They can't do anything about it because they just don't have the numbers. Anyway, the three main unionist parties will always face a harder task than the SNP, who have a free run at the nationalist vote. Scottish Greens will likely move aside in most seats to let the SNP win, while Alba has barely made a ripple on Scottish political scene. Well, the Greens in Scotland aren't going to win anything. They only get seats in Scotland because of the proportional representation nature of the regional seats. They can't win a single constituency, and indeed in Parliament there is only one Green MP, I believe. And she's retiring because she's lonely or something. Anyway, the Scotland Matters group now wants Tory, Labour and Lib Dem supporters to swallow their pride and back another party if they stand a better chance of beating the Nats. And of course, this is what I've been calling for quite some time. Regular viewers will know this, that I said it's the only way you're going to win is you've got to hold your nose and vote against the SNP, if not necessarily for a party that you don't necessarily agree with. But if you do it for this election, just vote them out, keep them out. Whoever comes in can't be doing any worse, can they? Members have identified 40 potential seats where the Nats can be defeated, a result that would see them reduced to just 18 MPs. It hopes unionist parties can win back 24 seats from the 2017 that were lost in 2019, and 17 additional seats where the SNP does not enjoy a total majority. And you know, as time goes on, that could get even bigger, because the more we tell the truth, the worse it looks. We now see them as obviously stupid and inefficient, corrupt, and an absolute danger to children. You know, this is who the SNP are. I did the video yesterday. You see what they're pushing. They want to remove parental rights. They want to remove the rights of parents to control what medication their children take. They want to basically make children all wards of the state. That they control what children do, see, hear, learn, think. And what they're pushing, their message they're pushing, is totally degenerate and against what the vast proportion of people want. So the SNP need to be gone, and they need to be gone quickly. They need to be shown up for what they are. They are terrible, terrible people. The Nats won 48 seats in 2019, although have seen their numbers reduced with the defections to Alba from MPs Neil Hanvey and Kenny McCaskill, both of whom will be gone at the next election, I suspect. Angus MacNeil was booted out of the SNP group, while a by-election to replace Margaret Ferrier will be held in Rutherglen and Hamilton West next week, just over a week away. The SNP will be defending at least 47 seats when Rishi Sunak calls a vote. Among those seats being targeted is Aberdeen South, where the SNP group leader Stephen Flynn won with only 44.7% of the vote. As in, that's a very large sort of chunk of the vote generally, but it isn't a majority. Majority sounded like smashy and nicey, but it's not a majority. And so if a little bit of tactical voting comes in, you could oust the SNP leader in Westminster, and then the man would have to go and get a proper job, and he's never had one of those before. Be funny. In East Dunbartonshire, Amy Callaghan won with just 37% of the vote, narrowly edging out the Lib Dems. See there, in East Dunbartonshire, Labour and Tory, please God, vote for the Lib Dems. Get them in. You're not getting a Lib Dem MP, you're losing an SNP MP. It's a win for everyone. East Lothian, Kenny McCaskill was elected after winning 36.2% of the vote. McCaskill's Alba Party colleague Neil Hanvey also won with less than 40% of the vote in Kirkcaldy and Cowdenbeath. And then they're just listing a few more. Anyway, Alan Sutherland from Scotland Matters said the group met last week to discuss their campaign tactics for the next election. He said it was agreed 2017 should be the model for pro-UK parties to give Humza Yousaf a bloody nose. In fact, his seat could possibly be snatched as well, but it would take a massive effort to do that one. He said the SNP lost the seats in 2017 because they were becoming unpopular, and still are. They campaigned on independence. The Brexit negotiations only just started and Boris wasn't Prime Minister. These days, all the pro-UK parties have a new leader. The SNP are in meltdown and they want a de facto referendum at the centre of their campaign. And if the SNP are doing so badly, the only thing that's stopping her out of the SNP is a pro-UK vote being split. So stop splitting it. He called on Labour and Lib Dems to take a leaf out of the Tory book. The pro-UK parties have said they won't endorse tactical voting, but maybe the Conservatives are showing the way. Their leaflet claims they are the only party that can beat the SNP in the constituencies where they came second last time round and show the actual result and votes for each party. If Labour and Lib Dems did the same, it would make campaigning and messaging much simpler. Basically, do what I've been suggesting. Tactical vote in every seat where there's an SNP MP. Look to see who's second, vote for them and get the SNP out and lose the morons, the pervs, the peds, the predators and those who are actively and willingly doing harm to the nation. I'm coming up. So there we are. Tactical voting. It's the future. And I've been saying it for 6 months. It's just nice that other people have realised how important it is at the next election. This isn't a case, as I say, of getting anyone in. It's all to do with getting other people out. Thank you very much for listening. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and let's just get them all out. Bye.